Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/AITA. In today's episode, AITA I didn't attend my son's wedding, I instead spent the evening with his ex-wife. AITA for going home without my boyfriend because he wouldn't stop having conversations? AITA for telling my cousin I'm not having a child-free wedding, her daughter just isn't invited. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. AITA I didn't attend my son's wedding, I instead spent the evening with his ex-wife. Quick backstory: after graduating high school, my son moved 3 states away for college. At 19, he married a girl he met. I tried convincing him to wait because I personally felt he was too immature. They both dropped out and moved back here to his hometown. At 20, they had their first child, a beautiful little girl. 16 months later, my DIL gave birth to their second child, a little boy. After the first baby, my wife and I noticed our DIL wasn't happy. We both thought it was PPD related. Just after the second arrived, my son and his wife separated. She would bring the kids over for a visit. It was then she began unloading on us. I know there's 2 sides to every story, but considering I know my son, I believed her. I sat my son down numerous times to speak with him regarding his marriage. He refused to take responsibility, blamed her for everything even when I directly pointed out where he was the sole problem. They got into counseling. For a year things were okay on the surface. Our DIL filed for divorce. My son 3 days later was on Facebook announcing his new girlfriend. A month later, they were engaged. My son had forced his then wife to become a permanent SOM at the birth of their first child. She of course had no other family or friends here, she knew no one aside from us. She had nowhere to go with 2 small children. Unbeknownst to our son, my wife and I helped her financially and got her an apartment. Before the divorce was even finalized, we received a wedding invitation. I made it clear to my son I would not be attending and they would not have my blessing. His mother told him she would see to it that I would attend. I stayed consistent in my decision. I also asked him not to bring his fiancée around our house out of respect for the mother of his children. The wedding happened on February 11th. The night before, my wife gave me the finial push. I did not attend. Our daughter also did not attend for the same reasons. My wife picked up our grandkids, got them dressed, and attended the wedding. My daughter and I decided to spend the evening with his ex. I couldn't imagine her sitting alone while her kids attended their father's wedding. She was taken aback that I didn't end up attending his wedding. We took her out to distract her mind. I just wanted her to know she'll always be considered family to us. My daughter also made a joke they can drop the in-law status and just be sisters now. She was very tearfully grateful. I realized just how badly she needed our support, and specifically on that night. The next morning, my son called to tell me how much of a horrible father I am for not attending his wedding. Few days later, he caught wind that I spent the wedding evening with his ex. He said that was the ultimate form of betrayal, and further myself and his sister would have to earn a relationship with him on his terms only. ETA, first, I'd like to sincerely thank each and every one of you for your support, encouragement, and all the awards. I know without a doubt, I did the right thing. I even feel differently now. His mother should not have attended either. But we can't go back and undo that. So, my son saw the post. I had sent my daughter the link yesterday so she could read the comments. This morning she texts me at work, "Dad, you went viral." LOL, but anyways, he sent screenshots of the post and all my comments to his mom. He also told her, he's dead to me now. Time will tell if he means that. I'm sure he'll see this update too. For that reason, I'm positively certain the second he needs another cash loan, I won't be dead anymore. His mom told him, "Your children have to be our #1 priority. They're not just some disposable items you can leave behind when one chapter of your life closes." Maybe one day, he'll understand this. NTA Our DIL filed for divorce. My son 3 days later was on Facebook announcing his new girlfriend. A month later, they were engaged. You. The best children are the ones you choose. My ex posted about his new GF on Facebook before I had a chance to file. But we separated because of his cheating. It's nice that he was fired soon after, and now the AP, adultery partner/affair partner, is financially supporting him. Seriously, a girlfriend 3 days later, which turns into a fiancé after a month. As OP said, there's two sides to every story, and more info can sometimes change the vote. This is not one of the times. NTA. NTA, this is funny, you have to earn a relationship on his terms. I think he needs to check his offering. He's way overvaluing what he brings to the table. Honestly, though, why would anyone care to earn a relationship with someone who clearly puts no value on the relationships he already had? He didn't care when OP said from the get-go he wouldn't attend, because he just assumed he would get his way in the end. The only relationship this guy values is the relationship with that guy in the mirror. NTA. NTA, it sounds like you're a reasonable parent who acknowledges when your kid is being an idiot. I don't see anything wrong with you choosing to support the mother of your grandchildren who he seems to have left in a bad spot. Too many parents don't want to hold their children accountable. I'm glad Thia father does. My father was abusive and his parents always sided with him and told me to just deal with it. Whenever he did something, they just swept it under the rug. They didn't want to believe their son could be such an asshole despite seeing him blow up themselves, so they would rather live in denial. NTA. He wanted a trophy wife, immediately got into a relationship with another woman when he got divorced, and tried to manipulate both you and her. Unlike some comments that will undoubtedly come, the relationship you have with UXDIL is yours, not dependent on him. Good for you for helping her out through this difficult time and for standing against the son. NTA. And OP, you win a FIL of the Year award. Your son seems to be very immature. You received an invitation and already made it clear you would not attend. And the way you helped the DIL is a testament to what a kind man you are. You and your daughter have the morals your son will never be able to see. The fact that he has one child who is a decent human being and one who is not, it seems dad here tried his best to bring them up right, but one child chose not to listen. NTA. OP, you're a good guy. NTA. I don't understand people that think you are required to side with family members regardless of their decisions. From the sounds of it, your son wasn't faithful to your DIL. He is the one that did wrong, not her. Why punish someone you care about when they're the victim? The son is an asshole. He made his bed, now he gets to sleep in it. I agree. If one of my siblings was unfaithful, I'd cut them off forever but maintain contact with their ex and the kids. Also, the fact OP's other kids straight up said they viewed the ex as their sibling and not the bio sibling or his second wife also says a lot about everything. You are NTA, OP. Your son can F off into the sun, love the daughter and the kids. Wow. I feel like it's hard to fully judge without knowing the issues of a marriage, but based on the timeline you shared of your son's girlfriend announcement, it speaks volumes. Your daughter aligning in your views also says something about the arc of the relationship. I think it's very brave for you to see your daughter-in-law, I guess now she's your daughter-in-love, not law, as a person who most needs family and your support. Standing with your beliefs may have cost you a relationship with your son, and likely with future grandchildren. But it will have profoundly impacted the life of some very real humans in your life now. Sometimes family comes to us outside of blood. It sounds like you found someone you genuinely brought into yours, and don't want to see wronged, even by another family member. NTA, in my opinion. I'm sure you can make it up to him by attending at least one of his next 3 weddings. NTA. AITA for going home without my boyfriend because he wouldn't stop having conversations? My 24F boyfriend, 27M, and I were invited to one of our friends' birthday party yesterday. I had work early today, so we agreed on leaving early. Also, my boyfriend broke his foot, so I was in charge of driving. Around 11 p.m., I start to feel tired, so I told my boyfriend we were gonna go soon. He said yes, let me just finish my conversation. I said okay. After 5 minutes of waiting, I tell him again that I was tired, so we needed to leave. He told me to wait 5 more minutes. But those 5 minutes quickly turned into 10, those 10 into 20 and 20 into 30 minutes. At this point, I was getting angry because he already promised me we'd leave early, but it was now close to midnight and he was still talking. I go to him again and tell him that if he's having fun and wants to stay, then I can ask his sister to drive him home as it's on her way. He said no and that he was coming. I told him that I was really tired and would leave without him if he wasn't there in 5 minutes. He said he'd be there. It's without surprise that after 5 minutes, he was still not here but was having another conversation with someone else. I go to him one last time and tell him I'm leaving. I guess he didn't heard because he didn't react. Before leaving, I go to his sister and ask if she can drive him home. She said she would, so I thanked her and I left. My boyfriend called me 10 minutes after to ask where I was. I told him I left because I was tired and he wouldn't leave. He called me an and hung up. He texted me right after and told me that I was an off for leaving without him, that he was just talking with his friends and that it wouldn't have killed me to wait a little more. He blocked me right after that and slept at his sister's house. I texted her and she told me he just need time to cool down and that me leaving without him had really hurt him. No news since, from him or his sister. Was I the to leave without him? Perhaps it's true that I could have waited till he finished talking. NTA. The real giveaway is that it wouldn't have killed you to wait a little more. He had no intention of leaving early and was just lying to you to keep you quiet. Also, what 27-year-old blocks their partner after an argument? That's high school bullshit that even feels immature for high school. NTA. You were very clear and reasonable with your boyfriend about your need to leave early. He was being disrespectful and selfish by ignoring you and continuing to talk with his friends. He also broke his promise to you and lied about coming soon. You did nothing wrong by leaving without him, especially since you arranged for his sister to drive him home. He owes you an apology. NTA. Let him leave you blocked and move on. You really don't want to continue a relationship with someone like this. Red flags are everywhere. So, his 5 minutes turned into over half an hour more? Why does his wants come before your needs? You made it clear before the party that you needed to leave early and he agreed, but decided something else in his head. He said that it wouldn't have killed you to wait a little more, meaning that he had no intention of wrapping up his convo in 5 minutes and planned to make you wait as long as he wanted. He had the right to want to speak with his friends, but why did he want to force you to stay when you were tired and his sister was there and could drive him? This is an move, but it's him blocking you that would have me blocking him from my life. NTA. He blocked you? Get the F out right now, girl, that is a serious red flag. NTA. His sister can keep him. It won't kill him to send one of his conversationalist friends to pick his stuff up where you leave it in trash bags outside your place where you have freshly changed locks. NTA. AITA for telling my cousin I'm not having a child-free wedding, her daughter just isn't invited. I, 27M, am getting married in the fall to my fiancé, 25F, and we've decided that friends and family can bring their kids, since for the most part the kids are well behaved and will be with a sitter for the night so the parents can enjoy the festivities. The only exception is my cousin Linda's daughter Sari, 12. Linda's entitled and selfish and she's made her daughter entitled and selfish. 2 years ago my other cousin, Linda's sister Lily, got married and Sari ruined the wedding by throwing a tantrum, and destroying the cake because she was jealous that Lily's daughter was the flower girl. Linda recently called me up to talk and brought up child-free weddings and how terrible they are. Her invitation said nothing about a child-free wedding, it had her name, and her husband's name on it and no +1 or anything to indicate Carrie could come. I told her I wasn't having a child-free wedding, Sari just wasn't invited because of what happened at Lily's wedding. I don't want a repeat of Sari seeing she's not the flower girl again and throwing another fit. Linda's since gotten all her friends and the few people in the family who take her side to bombard me, my fiancé and family with texts about how selfish we are for purposefully excluding one child while everyone else can bring their kids. Edit, everyone keeps asking why invite Linda at all? My family is very big on family is everything family first and respect your elders. If I'd not invited Linda and her husband at all, the shitstorm would be much bigger and the majority of my family would be calling me to tell me to invite her. NTA, uninvite anyone that complained. For real. Excise all this bullshit. I've never been around anyone who acts like this and I'm 40. I read the wildest shit on here. NTA. Sari was 10 when she threw her fit. Old enough to know better. So she's 12. Going on 13 now with extra fun hormones raging through her system. Did she show any remorse for her behavior? Is that an ongoing issue with her throwing tantrums when she's not the sole focus? NTA, but I would reply you're so right, it was really mean to exclude a child from the wedding her parents are invited to. Therefore, I rescind the invite to you and your husband. Oh my. I've made a terrible mistake in not inviting Sari. I meant to not invite any of you. Jam, justified asshole move. This shouldn't be funny, but it's pretty funny. OP is justified, but he's not an asshole. NTA. Your wedding should be about you. People who try to make it about them should be uninvited. And it seems like you have a good reason and you already explained it. AITA. Don't budge. She will ruin your wedding. She's ruining it now by making you look bad. Fight her by giving the reason of what happened to her sister's wedding. In whatever form like social media etc. Limit your contact with your cousin. She's toxic. Info, if you have an issue with the entitled and selfish kid, why did you invite the entitled and selfish parent? If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share and we will see you in the next video.